in our week number 1, the SPL. Noble Esports goes right away and bans out the Ymir. This character is, so we keep preaching about the power of lane clear, and he's definitely one of those guys that's going to clear the wave well. Enemy, well, they're not first pick. They're going to ban Thoth.
And that's the key there. They're not first pick, so ban it away. Don't give it up. Don't leave it available. Thanatos is on the table, which was banned earlier on here. I'm not sure if we'll see enemy look to pick that for themselves, because they will run a Thanatos with Virizial before. I like the Sylvanas choice instead, though, because even if Noble do go with the Zeus again, they can't potentially combine that with the Sylvanas.
I'd like to see Noble first pick the Thanatos here for Chapo. I think that last game was, when you're looking at both of these teams, in all honesty, that's a lie. When you're looking at Noble, you're looking in the jungle to drive the team. There's a lot of talent on this squad, specifically jungle and mid lane. Thanatos is going to combine very well with the mid laner, as well as, yeah, Chapo didn't have his best game last time around, but that's one game. Game number 2, I'm thinking that he can pick it up.
Giannis Ratatoska? No, Scylla. Okay, surprisingly enough to see Chaos pick that. I thought he would go for his, not his default, but one of these well-known gods that he's very comfortable on the Giannis. Combine that with a Ratatoska, the mobility answers more than Thanatos can give. Also gives more escapability for his teammates when they're running away from that said Thanatos.
Scylla's really strong against Thanatos, specifically because characters that could punish you for crashing down onto them are really strong against Thanatos. So when you look at the Giannis, he's not going to really do much. You ult him, it's whatever. You ult Scylla, she's got Crutch. Even the I'm a monster in response, so enemy will select the Scylla for Chaos. Zeus, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. MLC grabs it.
Stealth going to pick that one up. Woobin's on the backers this time instead of the Khepri here. I'm surprised he didn't look at the Khepri for himself again, just because he does have the Thanatos anyway. Have them both in the same squad. You can have Chapo go as deep as he ever wants to go then, and then hit him with the ultimate, get him revived. Same thing for Stealth in the backline in case he gets engaged on.
Yeah, Zeus isn't even the character. When you're thinking Thanatos in the jungle, you want to see somebody combine with it. You want to see the Ra, you want to see the Poseidon, these burst mages that can work well off of things like a big Thor dunk or something. Zeus, not the same, but as we said, MLC is one of the best Zeuses on the planet. So, sure, I'm never going to shake my head too hard when Zeus is selected for MLC. Another Cupid ban.
This one's more focused on the fact that Pandacat just likes playing Cupid,
really
likes playing Artemis as well. It was last game as well, but it was also, they've drafted Ho Yi, so Cupid's great against Ho Yi as well, so
Pandacat's Cupid is kind of nuts, I will tell you that much. So you're seeing a respect ban Cupid. What a strange world.
It's not necessarily respect. Cupid's actually really good right now. Like, honestly, Cupid's not as bad as people may think. I think most of the hunters are actually viable right now. We saw AMC today as well. That kind of shows you that there's a lot of viability in the hunter role right now, and that's why you're seeing so much focus. Izanami, Artemis, Cupid, Apollo, all banned out, as well as then a Medusa and a Rama.
Medusa definitely has had some positive adjustments, doing more damage with that ultimate when you're able to turn around. Hunbats on the other side for enemy on Virizial. These are the gods that I love Virizial on. Now, when we saw Virizial come out and try to play the Ao Kuang of yesteryear, which was, going back into what you were saying about enemy getting into trouble with everybody overextending, I think that comes from the hero mentality. Enemy had a lot of issues just falling behind, and everybody tried to be the guy, and I think that caused a problem. Enemy is most successful when they play as a unit. As we get into game number 2, if you're rooting for enemy, that's what you want to see. Like in game number 1, Aruzis came through to set up the rest of the team. Virizial on this Hunbats, when Virizial is playing facilitator, that's when enemy is at their best. The black and red are already in a good look right now.
But their front line is very, very squishy. That's what I've noticed on the side of enemy in game 2 here. Obviously, Ratatoska and Hunbats. And then you've got Pain Beyond on the Fafnir. Now, Fafnir is great on the front line. His setup potential isn't the greatest, though. He's very good at baiting into situations, but not more than that, realistically.
Here's actually my take on that. Is Pain, Pain
like
with a nice little wraparound. Going to find the
stun
on the Wowie.
He's got to hit it. He's got to hit it. I had a feeling. I don't know why. I just felt he was going to miss that.
How did he miss it?
Well, what he did was, you don't know which way Warrior's going to turn when he's turning round. That's the thing. If he turns to the left or he turns to the right, he gets hit if he goes the right way.
I mean, Pain of Yan walked up to Wowie.
The funniest thing is these easy skill shots to miss are the ones that are point blank. It's a strange thing to say.
That's the truth.
We've seen long range snipes connect over and over again. And instead, you see a different story. I'm surprised, though, that we see Woobin starting in lane here with Wowie. I was going to mention that, too. With a Bacchus, he's not got the greatest wave clear at the start. I was expecting to see him go more mid lane here and pressure there, but instead, we've seen Thanatos start there with Chapo and Stealth. They will steal away the speed.
So, glad you brought up Chapo here on the Thanatos, because going back to what you were saying about the lack of tanky characters on enemy. First of all, Ruzis, we've seen Divios play a very tanky Ratatosker, so that's certainly a thing. But for me, what it comes down to is El Chapo and the Thanatos. So Thanatos is strong no matter what, but Thanatos excels against high tank compositions because you can abuse his ability to execute at 40% and make the whole idea that you're tanky just irrelevant. So enemy, they lose frontline, but they gain a lot of damage and mobility. And at the end of the day, Chapo's taking that frontline ability out of you anyway.
I'm talking about Chapo right now. They're actually winning the trade on the other side of the map here as we're watching duo lane, because they've taken the speed buff of enemies. They've also taken their own speed buff and their own blue buff, which means they've got a net win of 1 buff up. However, left-hand side, different story here. I like the decision from enemy to stay in lane for another wave there to be able to secure this purple.
Here comes Rizziel over the top, still level 3. Big wave out of Chapo. A couple of baits could confirm it, but they won't chase underneath the tower just yet.
No, just still level 3, but Stealth turning up there to this left-hand side was so important for Noble there. Making that rotation from the mid lane from Stealth maybe really undervalued for what it actually did. It denied Noble getting really far behind in the duo after the initial push.
Chapo still waiting here in the solo lane with Uzi. Ex-teammate, still teammate here. From console to classic? I don't know what you want to call it.
PC.
I know.
How about that?
I was looking for the alliteration.
PC is great.
Well, right now, Chapo needs help. He is dead. Did not expect that. But the nice little curveball out of Verizio puts him and his team on the board for the first time this game. First blood going to enemy.
Good decision from enemy. They realized there was nothing up in the jungle to take either, so why not just hang here at the corner, see if Chapo does end up leaving the lane, and if he does, we'll get some extra damage on, at least force him back to base in the worst case scenario. Now they can dive Uzi because they're level 5 on Verizio.
Yeah, the fear no evil. The fear no evil.
See no evil.
Say no evil.
No, you always say evil.
That's true. It's fear no evil.
Oracle trade, hammer type. See what I mean? Pain misses the minimum, so the point blank shot, but then at the Oracles, he gets the max range distance and picks it up.
I mean, I completely agree.
Just saying.
I never like to talk about my gameplay here in the booth, but honestly, anecdotally, I will tell you it's harder to hit Thanatos sights.
Oh, Pandacat did not know Chapo was behind, so Chapo, let him know. The best way a Thanatos knows how, with a scythe to the back of the head.
1-1-0 for Thanatos. Hopefully that puts him on a waterfall, as I like to call it. I want to see him continue keeping the snowball going.
And Japo's good at this, though. Look at what he does. He rotates from one lane to the other, So he went solo, does die, immediately comes back, goes solo, goes duo, gets a kill, then comes to mid lane, looks for a gank too. The only bad news for Noble here is that gank on the duo lane that he did find a kill in means that they have to relinquish pressure on the speed buff of enemy that they had earlier on. So enemy managed to secure their own speed.
Right now, Noble, they really need to find something in the enemy jungle is really what I want to say, because Noble, they're trailing by about 1,000, which is troublesome this early on. You kind of need to stop that before it starts. It's a sign of things to come by seeing the fact that there's a 1,000 gold lead across the way. So teams definitely just have to be a little bit more careful.
This is a good zone work coming out from enemy here. This is experience more often than not. What he recognizes that he can't do much here. He can walk up with the wave if he wants to, but by doing this, he does risk getting all in by the two of them. So, see, as you can see, Pain walks forward as soon as the minions connect. You can't walk forward as a support until the minions touch each other. Otherwise, the archers will aggro you anyway, and you're just going to take free damage.
Chapo looking for the fight here on the right side. Uzi's going to play Clamp Man as 4 players here show up. Wubbin off the mark when it comes to the knockup. So you'll just have 4 players here on the right side of the map. Enemy, no move towards the Gold Fury just yet.
No, because they do have some presence over this side, but not at level 5, level 6 for these two. Scylla in the mid lane could have come over, but it would have cost him at least a Scylla ultimate to make sure they could confirm that. And then you've always got to be risky of the fact that Chapo could turn up on Thanatos at any given moment.
That's the key there, is that the fact that you nailed it. You just don't know where that jungler is. Verizio, on the other hand, beautiful play with the teleport, but a save from Wowie. Looking to turn this one around. Chapo goes up, Chapo comes down, and Aruzis is going to have to remix his lifespan right there. MLC Stealth chasing Verizio out of it. Wow. I just have to say, Bacchus is the man. We saw Jeff Hinliff set up everything on his game, and right here, Wubbin just makes a great play.
Wubbin did well then, but so did Chapo as well. His silence on the overhand smash against Verizial there. If he wouldn't have silenced that, Chapo was dead.
Yeah.
Like, confirmed, Chapo was definitely dead then, but that silence bought him enough time to get to the sky and then turn around the kill with the execute and get some sustain again.
Knockup going to be immune by Pain of Beyond during the transformation. No follow-up as Pain of Beyond finds safety under the tier 2 tower. Trouble for the Thanatos. Panic combines with Verizial to get the kill.
And that's the difference between Chapo at his best and Chapo when he overplays himself again. He did a juke around that he didn't need to do. He should have just stuck with his team, tried to exit that way. By doing that, it has given an opportunity for enemy to get the oracles and force Chapo back to base as well. He could have just tried to work towards the team. He tried to get a bit fancy, look for a scythe to come up again, and instead, his rest of the team went, right, peace. And that's what happens.
We'll see you later with that one. That'll be the 3rd kill for enemy here. Again, early on. Team's not wasting any time when it comes to the kills right here.
It is starting to show as the league continues, though, that duo lane really can be any two gods right now. Like, we've seen the likes of Bacchus, who's known for low wave clear. The only one we've not seen so far is Terra, which I think will probably change as time goes on. But it is showing that most of the supports, most of the hunters are able to be played even at the highest level right now.
Ruzi's dealing some damage into Uzi. Ruzi versus Uzi. Aruzi versus Uzi.
We can go with that. Chapo versus Aruzi catches the dash with the silence there, but with the minion wave in his way, Chapo takes more than he would have liked there. If the scythe hits Aruzi's there, could have been a different story.
You gotta make it rhyme. You gotta make it rhyme.
How am I gonna make it rhyme?
You gotta make it rhyme.
I don't do that.
Terrible. Wubbin.
He missed the hammer again. See, that was point blank.
Yeah.
Point blank hammers are harder to hit than the ranged ones, I swear.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, Finno Evil around the back of the jungle. I heard that. Chapo though gets out, turns it around, looks to the fight. Silence this time won't cancel the overhand smash. But Stealth is there to pick it up and clean up the pieces.
Too
1 for 1.
late right there. The Thanatos just rough stuff. Doesn't have an Aegis available as he's not yet level 12, if he will even go in that direction. Uzi here underneath the tower, just trying to avoid his opposition.
Oh, that could be a kill. No! So the choice from Stealth there to drop the shield over the ultimate gives Chaos enough window to just get out of that fight. Very small things just change the fact of whether this kills or it lives it or die it all the time. This is what happens at the Pro League highest level. It's just that one little change. If he doesn't throw the shield through the ult instead, Chaos was dead.
Absolutely. That's why these guys are here, right? That's the bigger change.
Yep.
One more time building the Doom Orb. I love it. Chaos understands his role as a mid-mage. A lot of times you'll see this the defensive builds come out, specifically across the way at MLC Stealth, who likes to build Zeus all defense plus a Soul Reaver.
Well, the thing is now as well, the mid laners are getting a little bit more alone time with the waves and solo farm. The reason that's happening is because duo lane now has the oracles to constantly contest, and enemy, and on the right hand side I should say as well, you've also still got the Portal Demon now, and as well elementals. So mid lane is kind of the one point of the game that's right in the middle, but at the same time, nobody really cares that much about it as much as they do the sides because there's more experience there now.
It's one of the most frequently visited spots on the map, I would say.
Oh, Chapo,
mid lane.
Forced to beads out of the Finno Evil, going to take to the skies. Rat goes up and comes down again. Uzi could look for Uzi's here. Now the dash is down. I wonder if Chapo's going to go, and he is.
Just waits for the prime opportunity. Nice dodge around the nuts, but he can't handle it. Looking to turn it around. It's going to be Uzi, and he can't handle it either. Aruzul gets one, and Vivaldi gets the other, or excuse me, Verizial gets the second one.
And that pickup there was generally down to the breastplate of Valor being built on by Aruzis. They underestimated how tanky that rat was. If that was a normal jungle Ratatoska, he probably would have gone for damage there and not survivability, which means Chapo would have done a little bit more damage, as would have Uzi.
Not the case, though, unfortunately. I think that's going to be the conversation a lot for Noble, is coulda, shoulda, woulda. But keep in mind, I think you're looking at two different teams right here, or two teams in different points of their history. I think it's very clear that that Noble is a team that is looking to
establish themselves. This is enemy is established. Noble are trying to establish themselves.
So for me, it's less about establishing themselves. I think we might be saying the same thing with a different term.
More than likely.
For me, Noble establishing themselves, that would be outward. But really, it's inward. They're just trying to improve right here. So when you see silly plays like that, I think it's just a team taking notes. And I think next split, they just might be a little bit better.
There'll be a lot of things that all the teams will look at the start of the season and go, because I'm just trying to play things like Stealth Soul in the mid lane there. That's a thing that these guys at home will watch the tape back and go, yeah, there. If it would have popped the ult there, it would have been a different story. But, you know, like, it was a small mistake. I'll probably think about that again, but in the same situation, I might just do the same thing because it's just natural to do.
Right here on the right side, again, Uzi in trouble. Finds a little bit of a big crit coming out from the Hun Bats, but very quickly.
Wobby missed the flop in mid lane, and now he's going to pay the iron price. I think overall, I'm a monster available. No flop available as well. Meanwhile, man fight.
And that's it. There's from the sky.
He's got Chaos
gets the kill in mid lane. Panda Cat is in trouble. Wow, he gets the kill again. Not expecting that.
I wasn't either, but it shows what Panda Cat happened last game as well. He didn't manage to land his snipes and his Rama too much. And then again, when it was clutch situation for him to land the snipe, Wowie ends up managing to avoid the damage coming in and then turns it on his head. However, enemy do win the fight elsewhere, which is more important in the grand scheme of things, and they're going to get a free goal fury out of this and continue to extend their lead.
You say it's more important.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's what you say.
Panda Cat will be like, I don't care, we got gold.
The 1v1.
If you die in a 1v1, right, and your team gets buffs, you're like, yeah, that was fine. I kept him away.
Oh, yeah.
So, what Panda Cat can do there, just for the fans at home as well, Panda Cat can now tell his team there, listen, if I didn't fight Wowie there and die for Wowie to get the kill, Wowie would have had enough health to be able to come and contest that gold fury, and they may have stolen it. So what I did there is sacrifice my life to make sure Wowie went back to base.
Absolutely. He's zoning.
He's a genius.
He's zoning.
He's a genius.
Aruzi's in some trouble here. You can see the gank coming out from El Chapo. He's rooted. Fantastic play. But the rest of the solo laner will take to the sky and simply walk away.
Aruzi's actually shown me a lot of like relaxation in this solo lane as well. Like, he's doing the right sort of thing. He's not wasting abilities. He's not panicking and trying to get as far away as possible. Notice how he could have ulted at any moment there and actually waited a little bit and went, okay, now I can ult and I'm still going to be safe and get away from the danger.
Exactly. Right now, early on in this game, it feels so much later in this game because, one, it's been more active than some of the other matches that we've seen.
Agreed.
But also, two, where we see the enemies is very interesting. Everybody is very deep in the enemy jungles, really searching for kills, and that, like I said, feels a little bit later. So, because of that, we're only about 13 in this one. 4 to 8 are your kills at the moment, with the enemy leading by about 3,000
Still want Uzi on this right-hand side over and over, but the monkey missing, and Verizial instantly backs knowing that he missed it. There's a sign of a jungler who's upset. It's either back or they jump. It's one or the other in place. What I would like to see out of Noble in this game, though, we're only 13 minutes in, they are behind at the moment, but I'm seeing Chapo pay more attention to the solo lane and trying to help out Uzi, and I'd like to see him actually turn his attention towards Panda Cat in the duo lane instead and get Wowie a little bit more fed. Panda Cat has died twice in this lane now, once from when Chapo ganked early on, and once against Wowie in the 1v1. If you can continue to try and exploit that situation there and get Wowie big, Wowie could put this game on his back.
Uzi taking the fight, he's 2 levels down, but he still wants it. Aruzi's taking more damage than he's giving onto the Robin.
Good time, Dole.
And he finds his teammate there to help out, and Uzi jumps over the ultimate out of Aruzi's. Good stuff.
And lazy back. Oh, he didn't catch the lazy back. I think he was going to catch the overhead kick, but just out of range. Verizial still wants this, but he's only at half mana. Does have his Fear No Evil available, though.
There's the hit out of the Hercules.
There you go. Oh, no, they caught Woman over the wall!
Nah, he's gone.
Is he?
He's gotta be. He's gotta be. He's gotta be, and he's not. Noble support, just walking away. Enemy, on the other hand, not the same. Chapo's gonna miss the dunk. Still looking for more. Gets body blocked. Looking for the sight. Can't find it. Panda Cat gets Chapo from a distance.
And now Panda Cat come around the back too, but Wowie's going to pick up one. Big kill on Arizi's there. Now looks to trade with Panda Cat, who is very low on mana here. Panda's going to use the last of his mana to roll in for the kill on Wowie stealth. Really worried about his positioning there. Didn't want to go in, but then goes and needs the crush instead. Pain Divion misses a max range hammer though. If he would have hit that, man, if it was only short range, he would have hit that.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, I know.
How many times am I going to say that this game? Everybody sort of playing as if, everybody playing for the game that they could have had or they should have had, not the one that they have right now. Enemy certainly looking for the tower here on the right side. Keep an eye on the mid lane as well. Even if they don't get this tier 1 in the right side.
They won't get either. They won't get either overall.
No, they won't.
No, the respawns coming through from Noble are going to be there in time. The recalls back to base. Verizial's looking at the speed buff now, but met with Chapo. Verizial's in a bit of an awkward position, but luckily the monkey bounce favoured him very, very well there, and he managed to get out scot-free.
Yeah, not going to be an issue for Verizial there on the Hun Bats. 5-1-3. Fantastic game for the jungler so far. A big bounce back moment for him.
But notice both the Hunters there as well. Both made a rotation and made impact in the engagement too. Obviously, Panda Cat managed to pick up El Chapo, who, for all intents and purposes, was already dead.
Sure.
But at the same time, you did have Wowie make that rotation, pick up Erezes, who, that was an important kill, because Erezes has been a real issue in the solo lane right now.
I mean, not just in game number 2, but in game number 1 as well, playing the tier, had a lot of control, obviously, on the tier, but Erezes on this Ratatasker, also similar situation. You know, it's very interesting. I want to know your take, Hindu Man. What do you think is the finest point that we've seen out of Erezes so far today?
Finest point is the ability to realize how aggressive, being aggressive and standing up in the face of danger most of the time. Not worried about a rotation coming in, recognizing his own potential as a player is what I've seen so far. He's shown that he can hang, right?
Yeah,
he's showing that he can hang in the Pro League, but the question is, how high can he hang? Like, when he gets to the top end, when he gets to the top end of the Pro League players, you've got the likes of Devios up there, you've got other players like even Walrus and the likes are going to be around. How good is he?
We'll have to answer that question. He's good enough to chase Noble off of the Portal Demon himself. Lands on the ground. Ozzy's going to zone 25% on the Portal Demon. That should be that. Unless Fafnir can... No, Fafnir's not able to make it there in time. Oh. Wow, he gets the kill! Panda Cat answers from afar, but Wowie gets the kill onto Verizio right beforehand.
But the difference was there is Portal Demon versus Gold Fury. Yeah. Gold Fury definitely gives more gold, but Portal Demon does give a positional map advantage for a while, which will slow enemy down a little bit about even looking towards a fire giant, which I don't think they would just yet anyway.
I actually think Gold Fury right there is probably the
bigger win. It's definitely the bigger win.
Yeah, it's got to be the bigger win.
Gold Fury will always be the bigger win unless the fire giant is definitely an opportunity to take it very, very soon.
Chapo missing those death sides. Not going to be a good look for him. Level 12, 2-5-1. Not the game. Not the game that he really wanted.
Chaos' Sycams have really been on point this game as well. He's constantly hitting these Sycams onto Wubbin over and over again. Meanwhile, though, Panda Cat is going to get free farm on the left-hand side and get a free tier 2 tower as Noble all posturing around the fire giant.
Yeah, that one you have to point to the jungle on. I know I mentioned it before, the Chapo not having his strongest outing right now, but that presence has to be there from the jungler. You absolutely have to be able to defend that if your hunter's not going to be there.
I'm not even blaming Chapo, I'm blaming the whole team. Like, someone had to go.
Yeah,
they should have realized that. Yeah. Panda's just there, free farming there. Unless you're trying to make a play in the jungle, which you weren't. There was no attempt at a kill there, which would have made sense.
It's just you're losing nothing for nothing.
Yeah.
You're losing something for nothing, rather. Again, an early Spear of Desolation. Weapon's going to be in a little bit of trouble here, likely to get out.
Spear of Desolation has just got a lot of power on it, and 20 pen. 20 pen is something you cannot ignore. 20 penetration is a lot of pen.
It's such an expensive item. It's odd to see it so often and early.
It is, but the pen makes up for it. That's the key here. It allows you. Ozzy's in trouble, but he's got support coming now. The overhead kick bought him some time away from that crush damage. But you can see how much Chaos is swinging for now with a fully stacked Doom Orb and that Desolation. He's really swinging for the houses.
Yeah, I mean, you heard me audibly go, ooh, right? He hits him for 25%? Maybe a third of his HP with one ability?
I mean, granted, he doesn't have much magical protection, but still, that is what Scylla does anyway.
Enemy now, grouping up here in the mid lane. Ozzy.
Keep it on Verizio. Just keep it on that little monkey. He's not a minion in the jungle, I promise you.
He's got the blink as well. So he's going to be able to just blink over the wall and hit the ultimate if that is the game plan. Instead, it'll be the wraparound. He's trying to stay hidden. I love how sneaky he's being right now.
He was trying to come around the back and wrap round, but the problem is that Noble have actually moved into the jungle instead to try and defend buffs and protect solo lane. In the sky now is both Rat and Thanatos, but Erezes recognized this and he's going to come down before Erezes does.
Yeah, Chapo going to land a little bit prematurely there. Right side tower will fall down, so 500 gold in the pockets of enemy.
Interesting choice here from enemy to send Verizio to the left, though. I think this is just enemy like, listen, we can't get towers right now. Let's just go for farm. And luckily enough, Verizio's like, well, when we're talking about farm, I'm just going to take their red and their purple buff on the left-hand side, which is going to deny them golden experience again, and is going to just continue to level me up.
That's the more important one, the first thing that you said right there. Chapo is only level 12 or 13 at the moment, and by stripping him of his jungle, there's just nothing safe to farm. He's level 13. He's going to push up and then get ganked. It's not what you want to be doing as a Thanatos. This character is supposed to get started off early, and without that happening right now, Chapo's running into a wealth of trouble.
He is for the time being, I say, but it's going to take him a good 5 to 6 minutes to really try and find his pace again in this game, catch up in a couple of levels. But by that point, the enemy of enemy here, his enemy, they're basically going to be probably around level 18 to 20, more than likely, and then he's still going to be behind anyway.
Just going to be a troublesome spot for the young Thanatos to be in.
Definitely catch-up day for Noble in this one now. They can try and defend a tier 2 tower if things go right for them. For the most part, it's generally down to Wubbin getting a good engage off, or Wowie getting a very good ultimate off to try and begin the engagement, and then Stealth dropping the bombs with the lightning everywhere. That'd be important. Making the heavens rave, basically. Has to make that happen.
20 minutes on the clock right here. An enemy off to a strong lead. 9,600 here, folks. If you're just joining us, this is our third match of the day. Earlier, we got to see In Memory of Gabe, the new Snoopy team. They were able to topple their opposition pretty handedly, I'd say.
They look pretty solid today, Memory of Gabe. Yeah, I'll give them the credit where it's due. Like, they look solid. They came in with a game plan, executed it well, and that's what you kind of just need on day one. Like, go in with a plan, try and execute. If it doesn't go wrong, it doesn't go well, that's okay. It's only week one. You've got a chance to come back in.
Our second match, I was commentating that alongside Anatoly. How'd you feel about that one?
Well, the game plan overall, I mean, the game went back and forth a little bit, but it wasn't really much to talk about in my eyes from that one overall. It just kind of went as it was going to go.
Yeah, it was a relatively slow-paced matchup.
LG just looked solid overall. I think Baskin looked. The most interesting thing for me was how Baskin looks.
That's the thing. We have a number of players shifting positions here. In this game, everybody's where they belong. But over for LG, how fantastic they looked. It was sort of this is the story of the LG match. The enemy pick up an objective and Noble have no idea. Baskin is just sitting there doing whatever he wanted in the mid lane, and there just wasn't a response from Flashpoint. That was the story of the second set, and that seems to be the story of this third set here. Enemy are just outplaying Noble, which is interesting because I think that Noble's a stronger team than we're seeing.
I think they are a stronger team, but they're still trying to find the feet, and that's what I keep saying. You can see the net worth on the left-hand side as Ozzy's being chased down here, but reinforcements from Noble arrive. There's 1,000 gold difference between the lowest person on the side of enemy in terms of gold, which is Chaos, versus the top player on Noble, which is Wowie. Still 1,000 gold difference there. And then you look at the top of enemy here, and it's Panda Cat at 12,000, sorry. Who's at the bottom? Back is at 8.7.
Just not enough gold for him to be relevant. It's really troublesome. Ooh, enemy gonna catch Chapo out. He's fast, but is he fast enough?
Oh, third one? Nope. He just whipped it a little bit too hard there. That was a classic FPS whip there. That didn't go out. Great ult from Wowie, though, to deny the Armor Monster, the Fear No Evil, and the Armor Monster thanks to the Aegis, too. Wowie's doing work this game, trying to do what he can, but it's not enough right now. Maybe it is, though. Chapo!
Oh, needed that kill, can't find it. Wowie finishes up after the fact, but Panda Cat takes down Wowie. 3 players dead with Noble jerseys on. Only 1 on the side of enemy, and it's Verizial. That play right there, man. The small things, all the small things. Shouts to my guys, Blink182. If Chapo finds that kill, that becomes a double kill for the Thanatos, a turnaround for Noble. But as I said before, shoulda, coulda, woulda. The kill does not go to Chapo. Chapo winds up dying first.